Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
So today, I'm Adam from Combat Sports UK, and we are talking to Mr. Liam McGeary. If you're not sure who Liam is, he does this.
Triangle, the belly down armbar. Also shows a difference in game plan. McGeary wants a bang, and this is over. A walk-away right punch knockout. Dan Murgliana steps in. You got uppercut. Love just right now getting teed off on. Defensive damage edge. Another stoppage. Another win for Liam McGeary. Position. Could he do it? He does! There's the tap from Kelly Emerson! Heavyweight World Champion Liam McGeary! First second from the escape from submission is the most dangerous when you're on the bottom. Now inverted triangle. God, it's over. It's over. McGeary dropping the elbows on the wall.
So, right, that inverted triangle, Liam. Before I go any further, how did you? I mean, I bet you didn't know at the time that was gonna get you $100,000 grapple. Was it the submission of the year? Was it, or submission of the comp tournament or something?
Yeah, it was submission of the year, that one. Back in 2014 submission of the year. But yeah, I've been working a lot. I work a lot of the stuff on my ground. Starting with jiu-jitsu, I always work with bigger, heavier guys. So I spent a lot of my time at the start working out how to get out of things, triangles. I spent a lot of time on my back. So I've established my game is based off of my back. I've got a dangerous guard. I can attack you from any angle. When you think you're in a dominant position, I can attack you. And that's exactly what was going on with that triangle. I knew he was a wrestler. I knew that he was going to be top heavy and try and get me down and stay on the top of my head and leave my legs and my hips free to do whatever they needed to do. So yeah, I came in. I tried him with the Kimura. I got him with a Kimura. The referee should have stopped that for a verbal tap out. But I didn't want the verbal tap. I wanted that submission. I mean,
and also, but you're you're 6'7", is that right? Or 6'6"?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you tall, long shins, right? In theory, triangles shouldn't be tight. Or at least you got to work a bit harder. Whereas I got shit little short legs. So when I eventually finally get triangles on, they are tight as hell. So in theory, you shouldn't be good at triangle. You seem to slap them on. Perfect. So
no one had to change the angle.
Oh, just beautiful.
You lock the triangle up. Okay, you lock the triangle up, right? But yes, I do have long legs, but now I have to figure out I need to make this triangle smaller. How do I make it smaller? To change the angle, you make it smaller.
But even the umpires, the commentator, as he's talking, and then everyone else watching it, like, oh yeah, it's good. Whoa, what was that? Like, where did that come from? I think the mate's face, he was like, oh, mate, I messed up then. I thought I was winning, and then that little bugger got that out of nowhere. It was amazing. So,
it's like sometimes I'm the hammer and he's the nail. That's what that dude said.
Mate, I love it. So, Liam, you started off a lot as well. Not too long ago, not years and years and years and years ago. A lot of kids start at young ages, and obviously coming through now. But he started MMA a bit later on in life. In my world, still a young whippersnapper, but late enough for MMA fighters, you know, because a lot of them start quite young. Talk us through how you even like got into it, where you began, and you know, how did you sort of find your feet?
So I started MMA when I was 29. Like properly took it seriously. Now I found our coach Mike McGary's place. When was it? 2007, possibly. I kind of dabbled around with a little bit of jiu-jitsu, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Mostly my background was boxing. I boxed when I was like really young, maybe 15 or something like that, 14. So it wasn't very good. I kind of knocked that on the head. But I was always fighting, like street fights. I would always go and try and pick fights with all the squaddies in town. Just as many as there was, I could just, the more the merrier, you know. I was always trying to test myself. I just enjoyed fighting. Not in a bad way. Like it was just the feeling I got when I was fighting 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. Like the adrenaline got me pumping. Everything about the whole fight thing, I just enjoyed. Like I thrived in that situation. Yes, all right. The police were kind of always tapping me on the shoulder, like, "Don't be doing this." Go to jail. Like I understand it's not the right place for doing what I was doing. But I didn't know about MMA. I didn't know about jiu-jitsu. I didn't know about any of that kind of stuff. All I knew was work, weekends, drinking, partying, fighting, girls. And that was pretty much how it went. But yeah, so I left Andover, moved around a bit. I ended up in a bit of trouble back in 2008 and got myself in jail for a few months. And after jail, I was like, right, that's it. I need to sort my shit out. I'm good at fighting. My mate Barry told me about UFC. He's like, "Here, watch this. Put on a UFC." And I was like, "People actually get paid to do this?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Sound right, sign me up." So I started training at Vic's place, but it wasn't what I needed. You know what I mean? It was good.
Yeah.
I needed something a little bit more, and I didn't quite know where to go. I'd already worked in Jersey, Channel Islands, right? So, and I found a jiu-jitsu gym there when I was like 21. And I just went back to Jersey. I knew this place was there, so I knew I could train, and the coaches were like world champions. So I went back there. I think I was 28 at the time. And they were like, "Oh, I recognize you. I remember, did you come in when you was like younger?" And I was like, "Yeah, now I'm ready to do what I needed to do."
Yeah.
So I actually jumped in feet first, 7 days a week. I'd be training with my coach, Rob, and literally just anything, any bit of information, any kind of submission, any bit of technique. And I just soaked it up. Like I turned up there one day, Father's Day, like didn't even realize it was Father's Day. I walked in the gym. I was like, "Where is everyone?" He's like, "It's Father's Day." So when I trained, he was like, "Yeah, all right then." So we got an hour in on the mats on Father's Day, you know?
Yeah.
My coach turned around to me and said I could take this wherever I wanted to take it. And I was like, okay. The recession kicked in. I worked in construction. The recession kicked in and the jobs, like building sites, just stopped. There was still work to be done there, and everything stopped dead. So I was like, right. So there was nothing else for me to do. So I thought I'd just see how far I can take this fighting game. So year out of jail, 2012. I started, Jersey. My mate came over to America, and he had a friend in New York or New Jersey, and then he comes back. It was around Christmas time, and it was like 2011 Christmas. He's like, "Liam, I need you to come around. I need to speak to you." So as soon as I went around there, he's like, "Cook me some food." He's like, "Right, I've got this guy over in America. He's the striking coach of Kurt Pellegrino. He said you can go over there and do some training." I was like, "All right, sound." He said go over there for 2 weeks, right? Now, me being the pikey that I am, I sold everything, right? Car, bike, everything in my apartment, laptop, computers, everything.
Yeah.
And I went over there. Now, I had to stay for 3 months because of the visa I got, right? So he's picked me up with this huge, great bag. And he's like, "Oh, you're only staying for 2 weeks." He said, "You've got to love stuff." I said, "No, I said, I'm here for 3 months.
Mhm.
He's like, you fucking suck. So, all right, take me to the gym. So we went to the gym. I showed him what I could do. The rest is as it is, really. I think the first 3 months they were more focused on their fighters because I just turned up.
Yeah,
so they were
yeah.
like, which you can understand why.
Of course.
But then, so I was like that. So I need to, I need a fight. So they set me up a fight in Atlantic City with what was the company name? I can't remember. But the guy I fought against was Walter Howard, and that was my opening fight show in Atlantic City.
How did you find the first? Obviously, the first fights are normally not the scariest, but the ones where you either go or you go, let's have it. You know what I mean? How did you find the first one?
Well, so I'd only had like a couple of fights. Like I came over. I think I was only 1-0 when I came to America.
Right.
Like, my professional record was 1-0, and you need 3 fights to get into the major organizations. Like, so I got this one professional fight, and I felt fine. Like I was fit as fuck when I went to America, and all I did was just train when I was there. So I was just getting better and better. So the nerves, it wasn't too bad. It was only nervous when I drove up there and my coach turned around to me and was like, you do realize that the likes of Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, and all the greatest other fighters have all fought in the same place that you're going to right now. I was like, dude. So I hadn't even thought about this, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, now I see, like, now the nerves have hit in. But yeah, that first fight, like, he put me on my ass with a jab. And as soon as it felt like it was nothing. But apparently I just popped back up. But I was like, on the way down, I was thinking, I didn't fly all the way over here to be sitting down on my ass and lose. I was like, fuck this. Boom, straight back up. But so it's just finding your feet, you know what I mean? Like, I just kind of do it.
So then you had a few fights on these promotions. How did the Bellator gig come up? Did they come to you, or how did it work?
Yeah, so after my fight with Walter, I had to come back to England because my visa, the ESTA, you have to leave the country after 3 months and go back. Right. So I came back after a month, and it was the summertime, so it was quite quiet for fights. So, and all I was doing was training. And at the end of it, and I was like, look, I said, something needs to happen now because like, I'm not getting any younger.
Is this back in Jersey? Sorry, did you come back to Jersey for a bit?
This is back in New Jersey in America.
Oh, so then you come back to England?
I had to come back to England for a month, and then I came back to America. So I did the 3 months back in England for a month, then back to America for 3 months, right?
Yeah.
So it was getting to the end of the 3 months, and nothing had happened. It's like that. I can't afford to be here doing what I'm doing. I was like, we need to make something happen. I was like, I'm going to go find another gym and start training there, see if I can make things work. He's like, whoa, give me 5 minutes, right? This is what Kurt Pellegrino says. So he goes off, comes back out, and he's like, I've got you a contract with Bellator. He said, it's a great contract. I'd sign this contract. It was a bullshit contract, by the way, right?
Yeah.
So, bullshit contract, but it was a contract nonetheless.
But it's money. So whatever. Yeah.
So I had to. So then, because I was on the ESTA, I then had to get a proper visa. So then through Bellator, so then I flew back home to England to go through all the visa process. Now this thing took 10 months to get sorted. So when it finally got sorted, then I flew back to America, and that's why I was like, I don't want to wait around for fights. Like, get me a fight. So I was fighting every 2 months, I think, or something like that.
On Bellator?
8 fights, yeah. 8 fights in the first year, 2 years.
Okay. That is a lot, yeah. And what point was it? Because obviously, I mean, when you went to Bellator, you were like one of those people that strolled in and instantly you get these people, let's call it the Conor McGregor effect, right? Where you come in and you go, no one really knows who you are. And then like within 3 fights, people already know exactly who you are. Remember the first few fights you had the inverted triangle, a couple of knockouts, and literally everything went boom and blew up. Like, obviously, I'm following this in England, and like it went from 0 to like 100. Well, I'm assuming like 0 to 100 miles an hour for you. How did you cope with that? Because I'm assuming because Bellator is a massive promotion. So how did you prepare? How did you sort of adjust to oh wait, people actually know who I am now, like almost overnight?
To be honest with you, I didn't think about it.
Mhm.
I spent like what people don't. People kept asking me like, "How did you win the title and so quick?" And how did you like hard work? Like
Yeah.
I didn't see New York for the first 3 years that I was there. Like, and I was training in the basement, right in the heart of fucking 30th Street, right near the train station, Penn Station train station. So I'm slap bang, Madison Square Garden, right in the middle, right? I didn't see any of it. I literally got off the bus, walked down the avenue, the 7th Ave, got my coffee, had my breakfast bagel. I was in the gym at 7:30 on the mats, and that was it. Like, I just spent my time down in the dungeons, training, and that's how I did it. And as for like, my friends came over to visit one time, and people were stopping me in Times Square asking me for a picture. Like, they couldn't believe that their mate from Jersey was, or wherever they knew me from, was getting stopped in Times Square. Now, oh yes, Sam, just take a picture, and then off about my business as well. Like, I didn't let it affect me. I didn't want it to. You know, I came there to do a job, and I was going to go do that job. And for me to get where I needed to get, I needed to focus.
Yeah.
And I'm easily distracted anyway, right? But I was at an age where I didn't need to be distracted. I've already been distracted enough. Now I needed to focus on what I was doing.
Yeah.
Right? In the 30s, or just coming into my 30s, and now it's time when I need to focus.
Oh man, what an impact you had! And obviously, you became the light heavyweight champion of Bellator of the world. We were all rooting for you here, and it was just so. It was for me personally. You know, you got this guy who used to live in Andover, the town where I'm living now, in his 30s. I know this might come as a shock, but I'm also in my 30s, and I remember just thinking, wow, this dude is. He just absolutely like you say, you owned it. You went, well, I'm going to go over there. I've got an objection on this objective, and you hit it on the head. And I mean, you made the right moves at the right time to hit exactly what you wanted to hit. You became lightweight heavy champion of the world for Bellator, and then the accident happened. Well, not the accident. It's a fight world. It's the fight game. Unfortunately, this is the sort of stuff we've got to deal with, right? So. Talk us through the whole process of the jaw injuries and where it's taken you.
All right. So the jaw, coming up 3 years now, man. So the jaw was broken pretty badly in the first round. I carried on until the third, until he grabbed hold of my face and it moved, and I couldn't I can take some pain, right? But this was pain on a level that I've never felt before. It was like electric shock throughout the whole of my body. I was like, nah, stop. But I don't get paid enough money for this shit. So I get off. So I went for I had to go for the first surgery. Now there was a whole fuck about because I was in San Jose, California, and I live in Hawaii. So I was trying to get surgeons, and I'm just like this. And I went to Disneyland. I took the kids to Disneyland the next day. So I kind of took a couple pain pills, trying to fucking get round. On the phone to some people, like trying to sort out surgery. I had surgery set up in Costa Mesa, which was Southern California, on the Monday or Tuesday. The Tuesday it was. So I did my surgery, the first surgery. I spent a week in California. Then I went back home, and I was having to fly from California to Hawaii to California once a week to get checked up. Jaws all wide shut, like I was drinking through a straw. We get 6 weeks into the first surgery, and then he turns around and he says, "Oh, it's not working." So what do you mean it's not working? Like it never. So the bond, he put the jawbone together, and it's supposed to fuse together and then get strong after like 8 weeks. But 6 weeks, something had happened, and scar tissue had grown in between, right? So now it's a loose joint. There's no connection there, right? So he had to go in and break all the scar tissue out, which was connecting, right? So if you imagine the crack was like this, now after he's broke, he had to scrape all the scar tissue out. Now I've got a gap like this, right? The nerve from my jaw, there's a nerve that runs up through a channel in the jaw, right? That was mixed up with all the with all the scar tissue. So as it's broke all the scar tissue out, my nerve is now damaged. So I've got no feeling in this lip. All this area here is not just tingly, right? So this had to grow back. So now all this bone had to fill in, all that bone had to fill in. It took a year and a half for him to go, right, the bone's all clear. Sorry. The first year it took to grow, right? And he's like, take it easy, take it easy. They took all the wires out and whatnot. And I was still having to go to checkups. The bone hadn't grown back yet. Take it easy. Then coronavirus kicked in, right? So then August comes. We couldn't travel. No one could travel in and out, do anything, right? So August comes. I had to leave to go to my visa in England, right? So then August was when I was in the middle of doing my operations and surgeries on my jaw. I had to go home to England, get stuck in England for another 10 months, right? Finally gets back to America. I've gone and seen a doctor after I got back in April last year. I saw the doctor in May and he's like, it's still not worked, right? So I've already had 2 surgeries. So now I've gone and seen him. He said it's still more scar tissue. So I have to go in it again and clean it all out, right? So I've like phoned up Bellator and said, listen, look, I'm back in the country. When are you going to fight? I need a 3rd surgery on my jaw. I was like, he's going to get back in touch with me, and then we're going to go from there. All right. 1 week later, from that phone call, I get a message from my friend in England. He's like, oh, is this good news or is it bad or what's this mean? He sent me a link to Twitter where Bellator have released some fighters, right? And on that list of fighters is my name right at the top. And I'm like, well, this is the first news I've actually heard about this. So surely it's not right. Then I broke my jaw in their cage and they're sacking me. But worse still, I had to pay for the 3rd surgery out of my own pocket.
Even though it
happened in Bellator, even though it happened in their cage, like so yeah, it's left a real bad taste in my mouth and a load of metal. But like, it's like now it's like, in case everyone, oh, when you go fight, I said, you know what, like, I will go back fighting, but I need to get my body fixed. Like this jaw, it's sound now. I'm starting to get hits. I get hit on it, and that is fine now. So like, so
is it all now? So the 3rd surgery happened, I'm assuming, yeah.
3rd surgery happened. That was back in July last year. He's like, right, 6 months, let the bone heal up. I've gone to see him. He's like, bone's healed up. Everything's good. You can go back to doing what you're doing. And then he's like, okay, you want to?
yeah.
After 3 years, I'm like, well, yeah, because this is what I do. Like, I enjoy this. Like, even training, I can't help but throw the gloves on and train with my guys. Like,
So what's the so you were training with Marcelo Garcia, right? Is that right?
No. I trained at Kurt Pellegrino's. I was training at Henzo Gracie's.
Henzo Gracie in New York.
In New York, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, sorry.
I have been through Marcelo's a few times and trained there, but Henzo Gracie.
Which is, I mean, freaking hell, if you're going to get trained, you're going to choose anyone to train you. You know, you might as well get the best. So you're in Hawaii now, living there, I'm assuming full time, right? Have you got your own club there, or do you train under someone else there still, or how's it work?
Yeah, so the gym. So there's a Helson Gracie's gym, and he's got like this little side room. And I was speaking to him before, and I always come down and train and just hit the bag during their class. And he's like, you can set up this little room and have it for your own. So I was like, sound. So I've set up a little fight club in there. I do some kickboxing lessons, jiu-jitsu, MMA. So yeah, I'm just finished class now. I just focus on this for the last however many months or year now. I think I've been putting on this.
So you're under Helson Gracie?
No, I'm under Liam McGeary.
You're in academy now.
Yeah, but this is Helson Gracie's is the guy in there. He teaches jiu-jitsu. That's his one. But mine, I'm still under Braulio Estima, John Danaher, Enzo Gracie, and myself.
Of course, yeah. I've heard of them. Yeah, apparently they're quite good. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I've heard good things. So is that where so that sucks, man. So you've been released from Bellator now. So I'm assuming the money isn't coming in quite the way it was. So this is what you're doing full time?
yeah, I mean, like so same as anything, you got to build up from start to finish, like from the bottom, work your way up. So that's just basically what I've been doing. I've been concentrating on my family, and the gym, the business, getting healthy. But so, like I said, I was trying to get myself into the pre-fight camp shape. Like, you need to be in shape to get into the fight camp. So I was trying to get myself into that shape, but there was these niggling injuries that just wouldn't go away. Like, I tried to work around them, tried to see doctors, like, to see what was going on, getting needles poked in there, massages and stuff like that. But I went for an X-ray. It turns out I've got debris in my joints, so I need to go get them cleared out. Yeah, dude, I'm getting old. Like, I've had the last God knows how many years battering my body. So and to go do the run that I plan on doing, I need my body like in tip-top shape.
What is your plan? What's your plan next? What is other than obviously your family in the gym? What is your? I mean, you've already done something that most MMA fighters would dream of. They'd be dream of fighting on. Even, I mean, it's usually, I would say, UFC, one, Bellator, maybe Pride. That's probably about it, really, isn't it? I mean, those are the big sort of 4 promotions people want to fight on. Then they become a champion in the world. You've done it. You've absolutely done it. So what's the? I mean, obviously, I'm assuming you're not looking to go back to Bellator. Probably not. I mean, is that? I mean, the general kind of culture in general for fighting promotions isn't favorable. I mean, like, you know, people are like, I want to go to UFC. Like, why? The pay is awful compared to what you can get. You look at, I mean, this transition between MMA people getting into boxing, and it's terrible to watch because it's just looking at you and you go, mate, what are you doing? Like Ben Askren got in his ass kicked, and you're just like, Ben, what are you doing? But then he's waking up, smiling, going, I've just got the biggest paycheck of my life, mate. Why? Who cares? I don't care. I'll take it out. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. Just made like £1 million. But that's kind of bad, isn't it? You go, well, why is MMA so poorly paid compared to the likes of boxing? I mean, it's not on, is it?
No, because they own you. They own the monopoly of you. Muhammad Ali, it's called the Muhammad Ali Act, right? Years ago, he fucking changed it around because boxing was exactly the same. They owned you. You could only fight for one organization. But the Muhammad Ali Act was basically your fighter can fight for any of the promotion. The fighter is the main character in this, not the promotion. Whereas the UFC, they don't promote their fighters, they promote the UFC. People know who the UFC are. I couldn't name you fucking 10 fighters who fight for the UFC now. Like, there's so many different fighters now, and like that's all they care about promoting. Bellator claim that they care about the fighter. Nobody cares about the fighter. They just care about making more money and putting bums in seats, which is business and which is the entertainment business. I think I was talking the other day to someone. I think like the era of fighters where it was just literally about the fighters was the Chuck Liddell days, Randy Couture, Rampage, like that.
Golden era, yeah.
I just missed out on that era and just got into the new era for the entertainment side of things, like where I just cared about fighting. I didn't want to stand there, be a jackass on TV and start fucking mouthing off and like that. That wasn't my thing. I'll put on a fucking good fight for you. I'll knock out whoever's in front of me, submit him, whatever. Like, I know I can do that. But yeah. Like I said, I missed out on that. That was like that's the golden era.
They were legendary fighters, man. Absolute legendary fighters. And I mean, I don't know if it's because I'm British or not as well or not, but I'm with you. I don't want to see. I know it sells fights, but it doesn't sell it for me. When you see people just starting pointless arguments to each other and trying to build this fake animosity between each other, and you're just going, what is wrong with going? Like, you're a cool dude, you're a good fighter, I'm the best fighter, that's why we're fighting each other. And then having the best fight. Why? I know, I get it. People are like, oh, let's see. But it just frustrates the crap out of me sitting there going, I know you two train together. What are you? But it drives me insane. But what drives me insane more so is, when you're right, why shouldn't a fighter, you know, unless you're going to give me a good contract, why can't I fight for different organizations. What? I'm self-employed. If you're a normal self-employed person, which you are, because they're not going to give you, they're not employing you, are they? They're not going to give you a pension and all the rest of it that goes with it. So like, you're not going to give you holiday or sick pay. So you are self-employed. So if I'm self-employed and someone said to me, you can't work with them, I said, well, I can. Self-employed, mate. Do what I want. I don't get it. It's such a shame.
People control situations and control shit, and that's what they want to do, control this. And it's like, well, you either kick off about it, and then they're like, oh, well, we'll just go to the next person. And there's always the next person. There's always somebody else. So that's why, and there's no union. Like over here, there's no union for any fighters to stick together and be like, listen, what you're doing to us is fucking shit. You know? Excuse me. It's terrible what you're doing. You don't provide no healthcare for us. You don't like every fight. You get insurance for a fight, right? But that's after the fight. So you could injure yourself in the beginning of the fight, yeah, or beginning of the training camp, and you've got to go through that whole training camp injured just to go to the fight, just to say, "Oh, did you hurt yourself?" You got now you can get it treated after you've had the fight. Like, there's no. And to get insurance over here is fucking ridiculous money. So like,
well, even then, evidently, from what you were saying, it doesn't actually pay out. You didn't complete your course and get better. You had to pay for the last one because they released you before you even finished the treatment. So I was in your cage. I must have made you how much money? How much money did I make you that day?
My fucking leg at Tesco's, like something off the shelf and bust their leg. You imagine something like that? They're like, oh. Would they fucking sack them? Would they? You know what I mean? They'll make sure that they look out because they're scared shit. That's the thing. They don't.
Well, I mean, it's also the public demeanor as people go, oh, well, they're fighters. They're just. I mean, I've got a friend of mine who, it's a mutual friend of ours who, just because he's a cage fighter, gets in trouble, and people look down and go, oh, you're aggressive because you're a cage fighter. And you're like, he's not aggressive, dude. He's the nicest guy. You're just saying he's aggressive because you've seen him in the cage. But actually, most cage fighters, as you know, most people who fight for a living are the coolest guy. Like
the main reason why you can't cause an argument, so you start kicking off, is because you've got a point to prove. Like you need to prove your point so everyone else can see what kind of a big man you are. You know what I mean? And that's why you do it. Like. Half the time it ends up getting dragged away and split up, and you'll stand. Like, all they're talking about is, oh yeah, he was mouthing off and he was doing this to that person. It's got him scared. Like that's what the talk is. Whereas I couldn't give a shite what somebody says. Like I'm not going to stand there and have an argument with someone in a pub. Like, you know what, mate? You do your thing. I'm going to go over here. Like, sure, not because I'm scared of him. I'm scared of what I do to him. Like
this is it.
I don't have to fucking prove to anybody in that pub. Like what I'm doing and that I can do what I'm doing because I already know. I turn up at the gym and have a good fight every single day, like several good fights with decent people who know what they're doing. So I have no need to go into a bar looking for extra stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So have you got a promotion that you're gunning for, or actually, do you know what? Just take it as it comes and keep on your BJJ journey, or what's the plan?
So the BJJ journey, everything got put on hold. Like when that jaw broke, like everything, I had plans to fight and compete in jiu-jitsu and more fights been planned, and everything stopped. I was coming on home to England to fucking open up gyms. Like Mike Tyson said it best: your plans change when you get punched in the face. My case was a kick, right? So yeah, the jiu-jitsu journey. We just did a tournament this past weekend, the Naga. My daughter took silver. One of my guys competed. Like we never really even trained for it. It was just like a random, like, you know what? Naga's on this weekend. I'm going to enter. Like that was on a Thursday or something. So everyone just kind of jumped in, did their best. Now they know what to expect. So the next one, there's another one coming up in October. So I'm just going to get ready for that. Organize my injuries. I'm going to let my injuries. I've got a couple more surgeries to get done. But there is a couple organisations that I've been speaking with. But like I said, I haven't even made like common knowledge that I'm injured. Like people don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just fucking training and posting up a few pictures and whatnot. But like I said, I have been talking to a couple of promotions, but I need my body 100% before I go in there and do
Well, especially now you know you got your kiddies as well to think about, and you know it's more to.
40 years old, man.
How much?
I'm nearly 40.
You old bastard. Not me, mate. I'm a young whippersnapper. I don't know what you talk about. I've got years before I hit that dizzy range. So you obviously got two kids or three kids? Two. Three. Yeah. So it's now like you're not that 28-year-old fella who's only got himself to think about. And do you know what? If I want to get beat up, to matter. Now it's like, actually, it ain't fun when you got your jaw wide shut because the kids, they're relentless little bastards, aren't they? And they go jump on your face and you've got to explain to them.
I can't even talk, so I'm like, I can't talk right here, teeth like this.
Get off me! Get off my face, you little twat! Oh!
I locked myself away. I was staying at a friend's house like during the second surgery because I just couldn't be at the house. So I stayed at my friend's house in California, and I locked myself away for like 3 days because like it was just people had asked you, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, dude, I can't fucking eat. I can't talk. Yeah. And then they're like, what? And like, you can't even understand me when I'm fucking answering you. So why are you asking me to repeat myself? And you get like, you know what? Fuck it. I went upstairs, took my pain, like I had some medicine where I had to shoot in a syringe with a little like fucking straw thing. It was horrible. This was the worst time of my life. And I've been to fucking jail. So it's not, this is not fun. It wasn't a fun thing to go through.
I guess that's one of the reasons why like BJJ is becoming so popular because you can kind of go full mental. You can, you know, I just kind of literally just finished my class half an hour before I got on the phone to yourself, and you can go pretty full on without really getting. Obviously get bruises and lumps and your cauliflower ears maybe, but generally speaking, you're in good nick. Which is why I think BJJ is taken off because you can't go full contact in training for MMA. You have no partners left, but BJJ you can kind of go pretty hard.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which is why I think BJJ is just gone boom and just taken off.
Yeah, it's definitely doing well, and the likes of Gordon Ryan, like,
he's inspiring a lot of people. He's definitely bringing, but he's got that argumentative streak in him. He's a little rascal, that Gordon. He doesn't.
I grew up with him on the mats. Like, what was he? 14 when I first started training.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Now he's like 22, something like that, and he's like, I'm like, yo,
he's only 22.
I think he's only 22, something like that.
Just makes you think I'm so not in shape. Like he's 22 and he's amazing.
Every day, every minute in the gym, and that's where people don't understand. They're like, "How did you become world champion?" You become world champion by putting the work in. Like, with anything you want, you've got to put the work in.
Well, it's one of those things that always meant as a compliment, 100%, but it isn't really a compliment because I don't really understand. It's clearly. So if I said to you, Liam, you made that inverted triangle. Look, it's just the way you do it. It's just so natural to you, isn't it? And your thing would be, thank you. But actually you go, mate, you know, do you know how many times I've done that in the gym? 1,000 times, like 1,000,000 times. I've put in thousands of hours so when people go, oh, it comes so naturally to you. Like you kind of go, I know it's meant as a compliment, but it's really not because it just clearly shows you haven't got. Do you know how many I've cried? I've had blood come dripping from every orifice at some point or whatever. I've had to put magnets on my ears because they've swollen up. Do you have any idea? Do you know what I mean? And you go, they go, so natural. Nothing natural about it, mate. Nothing is natural. It's like, do you know?
You see all of this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking wrong. Try again.
Yeah, you walk into the pub, keep blocking me. That's what McGeary keeps saying to me. He's like, Adam, you're blocking with your face. I know. Dickhead. So, well, listen, man. Thank you so much for jumping on the call with me today. It's always a pleasure catching up with you. Obviously, I've been to a couple of your seminars before with our mate Tarek. Tarek, if you're watching this, I'm sure you will, because you're a decent guy. You'll be watching this, of course you will. Or, you know, it's always been great catching up with you. And it's always quite funny because I'm 5'6" and you're 6'7", so it's like a midget. You're like a real life fairy tale giant in my world. So it's always good catching up with you, mate. And I know it sucks about the whole Bellator thing, but I have no doubt that whatever's going to happen in the future is going to be the best thing that's happened to you, because you'll bounce back as per normal and just do everything everyone says you can't do. You'll be like, people like now go, you can't fight at 30. Well, yeah, you want to bet? I'm going to become world champion. And then you did it. So I have no doubt you're going to come back, smash everything again. Obviously, when you come back to... Say again?
Just a couple of fun fights, you know what I mean? Just...
Well, what is success? You've already hit light heavyweight champion of the world. Success is whatever you want success to be. So if your success is making your club successful, bringing up the new generation of people, then I'm sure you're going to be successful in doing that. I have no doubt in that at all. Because you just always, from what I know about you, from what I've watched about you, you've always gone, fuck that, I'm doing that. And then you've done it. So it doesn't matter, does it? So when you're back in Andover, let me know. Go for a couple of beers. We've got two McDonald's drive-throughs now. So we're growing as a town. Oh, yeah. We've hit the big times. Yeah. Big.
There's one down by my old house on New Street.
Yeah. They built a gym opposite that as well, which is just cruel, isn't it? But,
right, isn't it? McDonald's gym.
I don't go into the gym, if I'm honest with you. I just do bicep curls and McDonald's.
Andover, mate. Like the changes of that place, like damn, like it's shite. The town is still shite. Like you still walk down through that town centre, and about 5 people walking up the high street.
It's great if you want to place a bet, get pissed, and then buy some stuff from charity shops with your bet winnings. But I mean, other than that, it's not really much going on. That's the way. So yeah, man.
People.
Yeah, man, for sure. Well, listen, bro, thank you very much for jumping on the call, explaining your story, and just keep us in the loop. And obviously here at Combat Sports UK, I want to keep on you. I want to keep telling your story, so I want people to listen to it, because it's, for me personally, it's so inspiring. And I know you're a humble guy. So you're like, no, it's not really, it's just me doing my thing. But I'm like, no, it is. It's inspiring. And you go, do you know what? He's worked his ass off. He hit the big time. He got knocked down. He's had his jaw wide shut. He's had 3 surgeries. He's coming back again. He's got his own gym. He's got, it's you've been through the time to bring for the ringer, and your drive is still like, I ain't finished yet, boy. I've still got stuff to prove, So I love it. It's good stuff. So thank you, Liam. Appreciate your time, brother. I'm going to just end the call now, but you're a legend. Thank you, brother.
Awesome, man. Take it easy, buddy.
Cheers, man.